Howdy folks, Nathan here in Kentucky, and this is the 2026 Kia Sportage. Now this is important because this is Kia's best-selling vehicle, and it is a good selling vehicle in its segment, and that segment is extremely competitive. We're talking about the Honda CR-V, the Toyota RAV4, the Ford Escape, the Nissan Rogue. All of those vehicles directly compete with this. However, this one is unique. And we've been driving this through the countryside, and we've been on a lot of roads that don't have very good pavement, right? So they're like bouncy, it's potholes and whatnot. This thing is really smooth, but it's not a sports car. It does not like being driven hard. Acceleration off the line is okay. I will be demonstrating that really soon, but it could be better. Okay, so there it goes. Now remember, this is a turbocharged engine. So yeah, okay, it's a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine, but it has an electric motor. So it's able to use that electric motor and really help it get up and move. All right, let's talk about what is under the hizzle, because that powertrain actually has 5 extra horsepower over the previous model. So we're now talking about a 232, that's combined horsepower, 4-cylinder engine that has an electric motor paired with it. In this, guys, with all-wheel drive, you are talking about a powertrain that can give you up to 35 mpg combined. It has a 6-speed automatic transmission, which is very different than the competition. A majority of them use CVTs or a version of that. This one, proper 6-speed automatic transmission, and it feeds all 4 wheels. And the powertrain itself, so far, seems to be working pretty good. Interesting note, however, is that if you get the non-hybrid version of this, then you're getting an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, there is a front-wheel drive model available. It's the base model. That gives you up to 42 mpg combined front-wheel drive. But we are talking about this one, which is all-wheel drive, as such, lower fuel mileage. This is the key. See the key fob right here? I'm not a big fan. Why? Because all the controls are on the side. You see that? And it does have the smart pack, even though they don't call it that. But the thing is that I much prefer it on the fob part itself here. These are little buttons. And they're not as intuitive. Other than lock, I do like having the lock up here. But yeah, that's kind of an issue. So let's unlock it. That's the second button here. The mirrors do fold, by the way, if you hit lock. Yep, there you go. Just like that. All right. Okay. Real quick, going to show you door materials, which I like because they actually use several different types of material here. This is hard-ish, but it does have a little bit of flex to it. So I do like that. Over time, I think that this would actually soften a little bit. I like having this area soft because I hang my arm out the window when I'm driving. This is soft as well. Okay, and then all this is hard material, but I like the fact that they have a couple different types of vinyls and plastics going throughout, and a couple different colors as well. Harman Kardon, there we go. There's key, or sorry, the start button. 2 12.3-inch screens, there and there. The air conditioner is helpful here, so I'm sorry if you can hear it a little bit. It's so humid, it's drippy. Okay, check out the steering wheel. Look at this. Squared off on the top, definitely squared off on the bottom. So it's kind of a squiggle. It's like a square bagel. Okay, so only 2 connecting points here, but I kind of like it. And not only that, but you have the drive mode setting here. I wanted to show you that, so I'm going to hit this button here, drive mode. There we go. So there's Sport, My Drive, Eco, but then you hit this on the other side, Terrain mode. There we go. Snow, mud, and sand. Yep. Now it's only if you need the terrain mode. If you don't, See what it does here? It also turns downhill brake control. That's hill descent control for other words. Anyway, back to drive mode. I'm just gonna go to, I'll go to eco. I'll be nice because I love the environment. Okay, this is also a 12.3 inch screen. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless, standard across the line. These screens are also standard, which is super cool. I gotta say, over the bumps and like hard highway separations points, and there's plenty out here in Kentucky, it's been really good. Sound isolation's really good. Control of vibration through the cabin, very good. Overall road noise, not an issue. Engine noise, not really there. Yeah, if you really hit it hard, you're gonna hear a few things, but it's really mellow, and I think that's part of it. The smooth driving character of this car cannot be denied on the highway or on the streets. And there's plenty of power for passing. That's huge. It takes a little time though. I don't know if it's just because it's a turbocharged engine that has a tiny bit of lag, or if it's, in addition, the fact that it has a hybrid powertrain, which just is like, I really don't want to be pushed. But there's a tiny bit of, hesitation, but once you get it up and going and get this thing on full boil, it moves. So for those of you who just need a driver to get through traffic, you could do a lot worse. Onto that uncool section, and that would be this. This is essentially a panel, and this is for your essentially infotainment setup here, and that's including climate control here and all this. The problem is that if I hit map, it's a beep, but there's no sensor or haptic thing that feeds back to tell me I'm doing it. Meaning, if I'm on the highway and it's not a button, I can't really tell that I've hit it. I just hear a beep, and maybe I got lucky and hit it, or I hit home, or I hit seek, or you know what I mean? So there's nothing telling me that my finger actually hit anything other than a beep, and I just don't know what it is unless I look down, taking my eyes off the road here. But there's a positive, and that is, and there is no way you guys are gonna see this, but it's the head-up display, which not only shows me the basics, but also if you have a navigation system that's comparable to, say, I don't know, the stuff they already have in here, so Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, those basic ones, it'll show you the arrows and some directional stuff up here in the head-up display. So very cool. I'm hoping you can see it. I can't tell through this lens if I can see it or not. Well, anyway, so there is all that. The rest of the setup is pretty simple. I do like the fact they have volume control, and they do have a tuner. That is good stuff there. Small glove compartment, very small. And this, well, it's not just for wires. It has two USB-Cs. Let me yank this out. Two USB-Cs there. Woohoo! Sorry about all that. They require us to plug in phones for navigation to get around town when we're driving. What I've got up here is a head-up display. I hope you can see it. And it's actually pretty cool because not only is it there, and this is, by the way, on the higher end models, it's, not standard. But what's really cool about it is that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, if you're using navigation, it'll actually beam up the navigation onto the screen for turn arrows and whatnot, which is something that you don't see very often. Here's another thing you don't see very often. I'm going to show you right over here. That and that. I love having the cameras embedded in the mirrors. That is very helpful. The system overall, I mean, they've been doing this for a while, Hyundai and Kia, and essentially this looks like it's one piece, like a curved screen. Really, it's two flat screens in this part here, which is probably about 2 or 3 inches. This part is really the curved part, but so be it. The rest of the design inside is nice and clean. Right? And that you're using 3 different tones, and I do like that because it does make it look more sophisticated. On other trims, you can get different colored interiors. We will talk about that at the very end. Once again, this is that 2-spoke steering wheel, which I really do like, and I didn't think I would. As part of the change, and there have been some significant changes. The front end design, well, it's sharper, different grille, different lower section down here as well. And if you look really carefully, you can clearly see that the openings, a lot of them really aren't openings. It isn't until you get like over here that you actually have a tiny little area for the radiator. But down here, there is some, oh, there, it's over there, cooling. Headlight design, you can see these 4 lights here, and then this marker light, which is far more extreme. Does that look cat-like to you? Here, let me get in the front. That looks kind of feline-like to me. I could be wrong, but, you know, look like cat ears. That's what I'm thinking, at least. All right, so anyway, cat ear-like design, lowered to the face, and then that chrome piece going across the bottom. Bear in mind, this is the top of the line model. That also means 19-inch wheels. Now, the base model has 17-inch wheels, so you can go from 17 all the way up to these 19s. And these are 235/55R 19 Hankook tires. So far, they've been relatively quiet. Really, no drama. But then again, this vehicle isn't really built for drama. It's built for smooth driving. That also means not high performance. There's no exhaust down here to be seen. For good reason. And then, of course, you have this area over here, and there's the HEV over there, Kia over there, Sportage over there, and this taillight design. Yeah. Okay, so a couple things you probably would be curious to know about this vehicle in terms of its production and everything else. Well, there will be 3 different versions of the Kia Sportage. So the main one, the gas engine with the 2.5 liter, that has the 8-speed automatic transmission. It is not a hybrid. That one will be coming out now. And this one, which is the hybrid, will be coming out right now. That's right. So you have 2 different vehicles that are basically on sale by the time you guys see this video. And now, what about the plug-in hybrid, which we have not reviewed on this trip because it is a different vehicle. It has higher horsepower, obviously better mileage, and it has an all-electric range and the whole 9, you know, blah, 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 all that. Well, that one, haven't reviewed it yet, and so I don't think it's coming out next month, but it might be coming out the month after. According to Kia, it is coming out, their words, soon. So soon could be in a couple months. We'll have more details on that in the future. But as it stands, this vehicle here is available right now. And if you are a Kia fan, if you like their 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, if you like the new design, then you'll be happy to know that the pricing is still competitive, although higher than it was before. Another thing to keep in mind, this does tow up to 200,000, I was about to say 200,000 pounds. The Kentucky whiskey is getting to me. Let's try that again. It can tow up to 2,000 pounds when properly equipped. There I am, hello. And I'm gonna pop in here. Now this seat is actually further back. This one is where someone who was even taller than me was sitting. And my leg room is really good. Here, let's see if I can, there we go. There are rear vents. Wow, you can really hear the cicada. They're going crazy. There's the rear vents. There's a storage compartment there. I bet you're wondering about USB-C. Well, there we go. USB-C over here. How nauseous can Nathan get you with the camera? There's pockets in the backs of the seats as well, including a little place here, which is great for hanging shopping bags, if they're allowed in your state. Door material, pretty good. There's, even in the back, it's hard plastic up here. This is a different tone and texture. It's kind of got a little stripe thing going on. And then down here, more hard stuff, but this is actually soft here, and this is soft here, soft touch. So overall, plenty of soft materials, and then some hard ones as well, but it looks good having all these different tones. I'm actually a bit of a fan of that. This one has panoramic moonroof, and that goes, yeah, and you can see how the back is. So that pricing, the LX, that's your base model front wheel drive, which gets 42 mpg, by the way, $30,200. $3,290. Your S, that's all-wheel drive, and they all come standard from this point forward with all-wheel drive, $32,590. EX is $33,590. Then your X line, that's got the cool wheels and tires, a little bit more rugged looking, $35,490. Then the SX Prestige, that is what I'm driving now, and that is $40,390. Destination is $1,445. So it is competitive in pricing, but it did go up a little bit over the previous year. And then they say it has nothing to do with the tariffs and it's all the extra tech and everything that you are getting. Indeed, a lot of this is standard. Those two 12.3-inch screens are standard, and a lot of the other tech standard. But at the same time, you know, you have to wonder, what are they telling us and what aren't they telling us? Another thing that you should know is that the hybrid versions of these vehicles are built in Korea, not in the United States. The one that is the non-hybrid is built in the United States. I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon. So that might have to do with some of the minor issues with pricing as well, but that's just assumption. Another thing that I want to point out is that they have several different trims. I mean, they've got a million different trims in between, but what you see is sort of what you get. So there's a lot of standard equipment that comes in these vehicles. As an example, the one I'm driving, the Prestige, is loaded, absolutely loaded. And that is something that, you know, it basically says there's very few, if any, options that you can get with it. So I wanted to talk about some of the interior colors. Now, there's only a handful of exterior colors. Essentially, there's a blue, a gray, a black, and a white. I don't think the white is even available yet. But in terms of the interior design, they actually have a couple cool little colors. There's Saturn Black and Terracotta Brown, and that's on the X line, and then Saturn Black and Misty Gray on the SX Prestige. That's probably the material I'm sitting on right now, and it's a leatherette. It does feel pretty good. It's yeah, I would say it's comfortable, it's spongy, doesn't feel like it's vinyl, that's for sure. So all of those things are very positive. Well, there you have it. Got a quick little drive in Kia's newest Sportage, a very important car for this automaker, one that will be pushing the direction of their upcoming designs. So their new face, their new taillights, all of that essentially will be finding its way into other Kia, what they call light trucks, which we would call crossovers. So you're going to be seeing this design, which has really sharp edges and sharp lines, and I think cat ears. You're going to be seeing that form its way and kind of drizzle down to other vehicles in the very near future. As it stands, this one will be going on sale right now as you read it, and then other models like the PHEV will be going on sale soon. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Give you a quick example of where we are. Right there. You see, it's where old people hang out. And they have a statue of Roman.